This is the Pixel Watch and it's Google's first ever time tapping into the world of smartwatches. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, so is it worth your time or should you stay far away from it? Well, watch this video and you will find out. Starting off with the software, it's Google software, so you should be expecting a smooth, color-popping user interface, and indeed that is what you get. From the moment I unboxed this amazing watch till now, 2 weeks later, it's still running as smooth as ever. The animations are bouncy and feel alive, and I absolutely love softwares that just bounce and move around with every touch that you do, just, you know, interact with you whilst you interact with it. The haptics are amongst one of the best, and I would even go as far as to say it's up there with the Watch 5 Pro. Google have always been known to efficiently integrate their haptics on their Pixel phones, and I can happily say that it's also present here on the Pixel Watch. If I can compare the Pixel Watch UI to the Wear OS on my Watch 4 Classic, then it's a massive difference. It's so much more bouncy, snappy, it has a lot more movement compared to my compared to my still Wear OS on my Watch 4 Classic. This is crazy because it's only Google's first ever iteration. Imagine they had 5 solid iterations just like Samsung has with the Watch 5 Pro. They'll be doing mind-boggling things with the software. I would even go as far as to say that they'll be rivaling Apple with the fluidity on the Apple Watches. The Pixel Watch comes with a handful of watch faces and they all look great, but my favorite has to be concentric. I found that this is the popular choice amongst most Pixel Watch owners, but however, it doesn't come with as much watch faces as, let's say, the Watch 5 Pro or the Apple Watch Ultra, but the ones that it does come with are quite functional. When you first get the Pixel Watch, it's not going to come with apps pre-installed such as a phone dialer to make phone calls straight from your wrist, or a messaging app to make text, again, straight from your wrist. It's quite basic compared to most smartwatches on the market nowadays. It comes with the basic things such as your watch face, your control panel, and all the other health essentials on it. It lacks a bunch of necessary apps that you'd find on other smartwatches from other big companies. So all the Pixel Watch has really been for me in the past 2 weeks of having it is really just a system to receive notifications whilst not having my phone on me. But to interact with those notifications I receive, yeah, that's a different problem. As said already, it's just a notifications sort of system. You can't really interact much with it. Like on my Watch 4 Classic, for example, most 90% of notifications I get, I can literally just type, reply, look at photos, do like on WhatsApp, blah, blah. I can do most things, but on my Pixel Watch, it's quite difficult to do that. Oh, this is why I hate filming during the day. The sun just messed up my lighting, but please don't take notice to that. Anyways, back to the topic. Interacting with notifications isn't really the best, but at least you can pick up phone calls on your wrist. Phone calls, yeah, that is just a no-no for me on this Pixel Watch. I'll talk more about the call quality on my next point. All in all, the software is an A+ when it comes to the feel, the look and the design, but the functionality still needs a lot of work. But this is to be expected from a first-gen device. Hardware, now this is one of my favorite features on the Pixel Watch. It comes with a thick silicone strap that not only looks premium, it also feels it as well. Its straps are thicker and sturdier than that on my Watch 4 Classic. This is not a good or a bad thing, it just means that you won't be able to keep your Pixel Watch flat on the table whilst it's charging. There's always going to be that extra bit of space hovering above the table. Whereas whilst charging my Watch 4 Classic, it just lays flat on the table, smack bang flat. The Pixel Watch comes with a different strap-on mechanism. You might have seen this before whilst I haven't. This is because I'm not into watches that much. I've only recently started getting into watches, primarily smartwatches, so if you've seen this before, just don't take the piss out of me, please. Taking off the strap on your Pixel Watch has been designed to be as seamless as possible. I haven't taken mine off yet because I know myself and I know I'll forget how to put it back on. I know there are tutorials on YouTube, but I'm just that clumsy and I'm just that guy that messes this sort of things up. So here is some B-roll from MKBHD showing you how it's done. It's a slide and pull mechanism, and from the looks of it, it's one of the smoothest forms of changing straps, I know. The shape of the watch is in a pebble shape. Now who remembers those pebbles that I used to throw in lakes as a kid to make it bounce and skip on water? Well, if you've ever seen one of those stones or rocks, the Pixel Watch will remind you of them really well. Its front screen is a display that stretches to infinity, but it doesn't. It's got some hefty beefy bezels on it, but Google smartly and strategically designed the UI and the actual body of the watch to make it seem seamless and endless. It basically just sort of blends into the body of the Pixel Watch. If you haven't seen the Pixel Watch with a white background yet, it's gonna basically seem like a really futuristic display, but in reality it really isn't, it's just a normal bezel display. Even the flash dims whilst it reaches the edge of the display to give it this glowing effect, which I think is really excellently done. Kudos to Google for thinking about the tiniest details there. Looking on the sides of the Pixel Watch, you see two buttons, a rotating crown and a little button just right above it. The rotating crown has been implemented with the user interface really well. It scrolls really smooth, it's got some great haptics, and overall it's just really functional. Sometimes I catch myself just mindlessly rotating the crown when I'm just bored. I haven't used or felt the rotating crown on the Apple Watch, so it'd be unfair if I compared it to. But I'm pretty certain about one thing: if the Pixel Watch can reach this level of smoothness and quality on its first iteration, then I'm pretty sure Apple can either match it or do even better. A negative I do have to add to the rotating crown is that it might be a bit too sensitive. I catch myself bringing down the notification or the control panel thing down when I'm just trying to get to the home screen. This is because the tiniest of movement either up or down will activate the crown. There might be a sensitivity setting somewhere, so if you do know about that, let me know down in the comments. The button just above the physical rotating crown brings up the recent app menu, I think. I'm not quite a fan of this button because of its placement. It's placed way too flush to the body of the watch whilst basically being underneath the watch. If you have big fingers, then this would be a nightmare for you to use. Now let's talk about the speakers on this watch. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, then to get a solid 3. Now, before I get too carried away, I'm not sure if it's the quality of the speakers or just the phone call quality on the watch. The only time I've ever had to use the speakers in the 2 weeks I've had this watch is whilst I'm answering phone calls. The speaker quality whilst on a phone call on the Pixel Watch is not it at all. It sounds like the other person on the phone is speaking through a gaming mic from 2001. Yes, it's that bad. If Google can resolve this with a software update, then please be my guest. But as for now, I try my best to avoid all phone calls on my watch. It's just not it. It's not loud, it sounds tinny, and it sounds like the other person is underwater. This is not what I expected from a watch that costs $400. If you're someone that relies on audio from your watch a lot, then the Pixel Watch should be out of your books, please. My Watch 4 Classic has a much better speaker. It sounds louder, crisper, and just a lot more higher quality. That's the sort of quality I expected from the Pixel Watch, but Google had other plans. Now let's talk about the topic that everyone wants to know: battery life. In my first couple of days of owning the Pixel Watch, let's put it like this, I was quite disappointed. It wasn't that good, it was draining way too quick, and I was actually scared that I got a defective unit. I'm so used to the battery life of my Watch 4 Classic that when I first got it, in like the first 2 hours it drained like 20%, and I was absolutely terrified. But silly me, I just found out that Google and Samsung both use machine learning to optimize the battery life on your Pixel Watch and Galaxy Watch. That is something I only thought was possible on their smartphones. I never thought that even your watch can use machine learning to optimize your battery usage. During the filming of this video, I now get about 2 days of battery life on my Pixel Watch, which is about the same as my Watch 4 Classic. Now do bear in mind that I don't use sleep tracking, so if you do, you should expect a dip in battery life, but not by a lot. In conclusion, should you get the Pixel Watch or is it a waste of your time? Let's put it like this: the Pixel Watch is made for average users that just want to know the time, receive notifications, check on their health, and you know, the basic stuffs, and they want all of the above whilst always getting an above average battery life. This is also all encased in a beautiful premium build quality. You definitely won't get the functionality that you'd get on the Watch 5 Pro or the Apple Watch Ultra, which is why it's not only cheaper but it's also marketed as a non-pro device. Watch this video here to see my comparison between the Watch 4 Classic and the Watch 5 Pro. If you're looking to put a new smartwatch on your wrist, like and subscribe if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter, link in the description, and I'll catch you in the next one.